Now here we go about the best and the worst chair. Remember that the principles are that we have to try and keep as close as possible as we can to that S-bend when we're in sitting. Now this funny little chair here on the right is as cheap as chips. They're often the sort of chairs that you see, I should say, in a scout hall or a municipal hall. They stack by sitting one on top of the other. The reason I like that chair is because of that angle there, and it's because that angle fairly closely approximates that angle, so that you can get back and arch, you can keep that lumbar hollow, you're not being pushed forward here. And there are many chairs that do this, but funnily enough, they are usually the less expensive chairs, and that's quite a pronounced back angle, and that's why I like it. So let's have a look at some real shockers. This possibly is the worst chair of all. In fact, it makes me wince. I think I remember my grandmother having chairs like this and me being not comfortable sitting in them when I was a very small child. And the reason is that they actually encourage you to slump. So you're uncomfortable within moments. You can't even stuff anything in here because it'll disappear through the hole. This is also a very bad chair because it doesn't give any support down here in the lumbar spine, but also your thoracic spine is pushed forward here. Same here, this is very common to see in Italian restaurants. Completely flat base of the chair and a completely at right angles to a completely straight back. This is the old Chesterfield chair, which I dislike for different reasons, mainly because the seat of the chair is far too deep, so you can't really get the back support helping you at all, and I think that's even got a bit of a hollow. So this needs to be well padded out with pillows for you to ever be comfortable in that chair. Now, lots of people, when they have a bad back, think they should go to this sort of chair, a kneeling chair on the left or a saddle chair on the right. I'm afraid that's not quite the case, because when your back is bad, you can't get the muscles of your spine to switch off. Your erector spinae muscles are on duty all the time, and that's one of the reasons that your back stays bad. It's a neurophysiological thing that switches the back muscles on. But if you're trying also doing the very best that you can and outlaying a small fortune to buy one of these chairs, unfortunately, you are encouraging those back muscles to stay switched on, which is why they are not the answer, and people usually end up discarding them. These chairs are fantastic for ever stopping you getting a bad back, but once you're in a bad back, then you need the support. And even the chair on the right here doesn't have good support. Look, it's a straight support, and you know already that if that went to go back slightly so that you could arch, that would be much more comfortable. Bear in mind that the saddle is ideal because the sitting posture on horseback is just about perfect, because you keep your lumbar hollow. The legs are quite low. The Americans wear a longer stirrup than the English, who wear it very short. The Australians wear their stirrups about the right length, but I would say that. So the sitting posture on a horse is enviable, and this is trying to replicate that, but not ideal if your back is bad. This is two good chairs, and the reason they're both good is this angle, so that your upper thoracic kyphosis can be accommodated. You've got nice support there, especially if you sit your bottom right back to the back of the chair, and then you can sit comfortably here. There's nice pressure here, but there's accommodation here. Same with this, a nice angle. But what I like about this chair is that it's quite low, so this should come in below your shoulder blades so you can arch back. And sometimes the little skimpy typist chair, we used to call them, are some of the best chairs there is. I haven't got a picture of it here, but it has a nice sort of padded back support here that's often on an angle that swivels, so that you, in moments of relaxation, can literally arch right back and have a reprieve from all the sitting forward. So that makes a good chair, while the converse makes a bad chair.